Hello, today I'll read you another book from this wonderful The Peter Rabbit Library collection. It is written by Beatrix Potter and illustrated by her. Previously we read The Tale of Peter Rabbit, The Tale of Squirrel Nutkin, The Tale of Gloucester, and The Tale of Benjamin and Bunny. If you're interested how I read those, you can see them on my YouTube channel. But today we'll read the story, The Tale of Two Bad Mice. By Beatrix Potter, based by the original authorized edition. The Tale of Two Bad Mice by Beatrix Potter. Once upon a time, there was a very beautiful doll's house. It was red bricks with white windows, and it was really muslin and curtains, and the front door and the chimney. It belonged to two dolls called Lucinda and Jane. At least it belonged to Lucinda, but she never ordered meals. Jane was the cook, but she never did any cooking because the dinner had been bought ready-made in a box full of shavings. There were red lobsters and ham and fish pudding and some pears and oranges. They would not come off the plates, but they were extremely beautiful. One morning, Lucinda and Jane had gone out for a drive in the doll's perambulator. There was no one in the nursery, and it was very quiet. Presently there was a little shuffling scratch noise in the corner, and near the fireplace there was a hole under the skirting board. Tom Thumb put up his head for a moment, and then popped it again. Tom Thumb was a mouse. A minute afterwards, Hans had his wife, and he had a head out too. And when she saw that there was no one in the nursery, she ventured out of the alcove under the coal box. The doll's house stood by the other side of the fireplace. Tom Thumb and Hunter Mercer went crouching across the heading and pushed the front door. It was not fast. Tom Thumb and Hans Mouser went upstairs and peeped into the engine room. Then they squeezed with joy. Such a lovely dinner was laid out upon the table. There were tin spoons and lead knives and forks and two dollar chairs, all so convenient. Tom Thumb set to work at once to carve the ham. It was beautiful shiny yellow, streaked with red. The knife tumbled out and hurt him. He put his finger in his mouth. It is not boiled enough. It is hard. You have a try, Hans Mouser. Hans Mouser stood up in her chair and chopped a little ham with another lead knife. It's as hard as the ham at the cheesemonger's, said Hansa. The ham broke off the plate with a jerk and rolled under the table. Let it alone, said Tom Thumb. Give me some fish, Hansa. Hansa tried every Chinese spoon in turn, and the fish was gorged to the dish. Then Tom Thumb lost his temper. He put the ham in the middle of the floor and hit it with his tongs. And with a shovel, bang, bang, smash! The ham fell all into pieces. For underneath a shiny paint, it was made of nothing but plaster. Then there was no end to the rage and disappointment of Tom Thumb and Hansa. They broke up the pudding, the lobsters, the pears, and the oranges. As fish would not come out of the plate, they put it into the red-hot crinky paper fire in the kitchen, but it would not burn either. Tom Thumb went up to the kitchen chimney and looked out at the top where was no sun. While Tom Thumb was up the chimney, Hansa had another disappointment. She found some tiny hamsters upon the dresser and the label of First Coffee and Sango. But when she turned them upside down, there was nothing outside except red and blue beads. Then those mice set to work to do all the mischief. They could, especially Tom Thumb. He took Jane's clothes out of the chest drawers in her bedroom and threw them out of the top floor window. But Hansa had a figural mind. After putting half the feathers out of Lucida's bolster, she remembered that she herself was in want of a feather bed. When Tom Thumb anciently carried the downstairs and across the hearthrug, it was difficult to squeeze the bolster into the mouse hole, but it managed somehow. Then Hansa went back and fetched a chair, bookcase, and a bird cage, and several small odds and ends. The bookcase and the bird cage refused to go in the mouse hole. Hansa left them behind in the coal box and went to fetch a cradle. Hansa was just returning with another chair when suddenly there was a noise of talking outside upon the landing. The mice rushed back to their hole, and dolls came into the nursery. What a sight met their eyes! Of Jane and Lucida. Lucida sat upon the upset kitchen stove and stared at Jane and leaned against the kitchen dresser and smiled, but neither of them made any remark. The bookcase and bird's cage were rescued from under the coal box, and Hansa had got the cradle and some of Lucida's clothes. She also used some useful pots and pans, and several other things. The little girl then the little girl that the doll's house belonged to said, "I will get a doll dressed like a policeman." But the mice said, "I'll set a mouse." But the nurse said, "I'll set a mousetrap." So did the story of the two bad mice. So that is the story of the two bad mice. But they were not very, very naughty after all, because Tom Thumb paid everything he broke. He found a crooked sixpence under the hearthrug, and upon the Christmas Eve he and Hansel Master stuffed it into one of the stockings of Lonsita and Jane. And very early every morning, before anybody is awake, Hansel Master comes with her dustpan and her broom and sweeps the dolly's house. And we're finished with this book for today. Next time we'll read another book. Bye! Hope you'll see the next part.